Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and we're back talking stock market. But technically, guys, this is movies because now we're talking about AMC theaters, GameStop. Those are in my wheelhouse, so that's why this is relevant here on Popcorn Planet. Anything's relevant if I want to talk about it. But I want to talk about this because today over Twitter, man, there's a movement brewing, and I wanted to get to the bottom of it. I've been reading all about it, and I brought in another stock market expert. He's a trader himself. He's had much success. Everybody meet Thomas. How you doing, Thomas?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's excited to have you. So look, I've been talking to Thomas. I could just tell from his lingo and from his experience and even some private stuff you've shown me. Thomas has been successful in the market and understands how it all works. And I wanted someone here who could help me sort of understand a stock market expert, since I obviously am not one of those. I'm reading and learning, but I want to make sure someone here can correct me and help me as we go along. But so thank you for being here, Thomas. What I want to get to is this. Yeah, thank you. This issue today that's really fascinating and frustrating is the fact that Robinhood, guys, if you know what Robinhood is, they're a stock market, what do you call it, a broker app? They allow users to trade in the market using their mobile app. It's a very popular one, right? Robinhood Stash. There are a handful of good ones, but is it safe to say, Thomas, Robinhood's one of the bigger ones?
Exactly. It's absolutely one of the big ones.
And so what makes this a big deal is Robinhood. Now, as you guys hopefully saw in the first video I did, GameStop, a bunch of people off of Reddit decided to take advantage of GameStop, who a lot of stockbrokers are no, sorry, it's what are they called? Who are the people who were betting against, who were betting short?
Mostly hedge funds.
Hedge funds, that was the word. Thank you.
Yeah.
They were betting against these hedge funds that were betting short on GameStop. And so these companies do that and reap the rewards, and it could be huge. But people on Reddit realize, well, wait, if we actually see that they're doing this, if we can all get enough people to go in there and actually lift it back up, other companies are going to be forced to sort of have to buy it based on its trajectory. And then these hedge funds that were betting down and trying to destroy GameStop, they're going to lose billions, and we're going to gain a fortune. It was sort of a way to game the system. Correct, Thomas?
Yeah, that's exactly. It works both ways. Like the hedge funds, when they short sell something, they sell the shares that they acquire through the rental period, and this becomes, of course, the stock then drops, and so it could spiral down further. And in the other direction, if enough people buy stock, then the stock will get listed to be input in other normal funds, and those funds then have to buy the stock if they want it or not, because it shows up on some rating list, and then it will go up even further. So it works both ways.
And looking at the chart, just so you guys sort of see what happened. I mean, this was selling for about $19, $20 for a while. If we go back even, this was low. It was even lower than that. It was $5 back in September. This was trending to go down, and I basically just die, it seemed like, and people were betting on that. However, it went up ginormously, up to it was up at $400 at one point, right? I think it was near there. At a certain point, I think it was up at 400. I have to zoom in a bit more to get us there, but at a certain point, yeah, $469 is the highest point it marked. But as you can see, coming down from a $10 to $20 all the way up to then $300 and $400, these were massive increases that suddenly affected the stock market and hedge funds tremendously. Like, whoa, what's happening? So what we're seeing right now is the down. And Thomas, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of common, isn't it? When a stock does go up, there is a little bit of a dip, and then it can still continue to go back up. So just because it's going down doesn't mean, oh, it's over. The reality of even my limited knowledge, because I actually sold some stock market software a while back. The reality is, that's common. Not the dips of the up and down as one's trajecting up is regular.
Exactly, because what you want to do if you have some common sense, if you invest in a stock heavily, then after a period of time, for example, the stock doubles, which of course would be very nice, then you take out at least the sum that you invested so that you are safe. Even if it crashes totally, you are at zero, because all the investment you made, you already have out, and all the things that on top of it, that is your winnings. And if it shoots up like this, of course, some people even take with them some of the winnings, and that is probably the drop you see there at the 400 mark, where it goes down steeply. It's all the guys like, okay, I take my investment.
Yeah,
plus,
I made a lot of money. I'm getting out now. That's a common thing for a lot of people, just to ride it that quick wave.
Exactly, yeah.
And so it seems that Now, what's interesting is it seems like Robinhood and some other entities are now potentially taking advantage of this as well, because what's happening today is Robinhood has now decided to stop, or rather block, trading. So you cannot buy further stocks from GameStop, AMC Theaters, countless other ones that this Wall Street Bets Reddit thread has been sort of changing the game with. And now this has become a massive deal. All day long, it's been trending all along with this energy on the internet that I have to say is just amazing from Wall Street Bets and people sharing it. A message to everyone on Wall Street from somebody with nothing to lose. You only think you're in control. You're trying to scare us into selling. It won't work. This is an amazing little thread here where he explains that he's grown up poor and it's not about the money for him. It's about really trying to prove what the point is, to prove that, if you think the prospect of losing a few $100s I have in GameStop is going to scare me from selling before Friday, you couldn't be more wrong. When you actually only average 1,000 in your checking account, what's the difference when it's $100 or $10? Do you have any idea how many times I've been there before? You know what it's like to be completely broke, literally shrug my shoulders at some video games and music until the next paycheck. This is a livelihood of people just saying F you to the people, to the Wall Street brokers who are making all this money. And so now to see Robinhood say, you know what, guys, we've stopped blocking on GameStop out of nowhere, people are like, what? It's only infuriated and made this even bigger of a movement, I think, now, where people are like, damn, it's gotten so intense that both AOC and Ted Cruz are in agreement. I mean, hell has frozen over if you see Ted Cruz saying, I fully agree with AOC. And AOC is out there, and even I see a lot of people like, oh my God, it's the first time I've ever agreed with AOC. This is bringing political people together because it really is how effed up what's happening right now is. This is unacceptable. We need to know more about Robinhood's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock as they see fit. As a member of the Financial Services Committee, I'd support a hearing if necessary. This is messed up. So now more than half of Robinhood users own at least some GameStop stock. They are now unable to freely trade it. The app is only allowing users to close out their position. So Thomas, tell us why that's a problem. I mean, this now is going to scare people to continue this downward trend, correct? In which case they are potentially manipulating the market. Are they not?
Exactly, yeah. They are definitely manipulating the market because you can no longer buy it on their app, you can only sell. And how short selling usually works is short sellers like to spread FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, into people. Even so that some common tactics are leaking information to the media that is totally bull, or even buying stock, like to have a certain increase and then selling all of it again, so that you can see on the chart a certain drop, and all the small investors that do not know what's going on, like, have a certain amount of fear and begin to sell everything, and the stock falls even further. So the more panic they can induce into the people, the more people will start to sell stuff because they are worried they were going to lose everything. But also, don't get me wrong, there are people going to lose here, definitely. Because what's happening is if you like just going into the game here and you bought stock at 300, you're already at the loss.
Right.
And it's very...
Now, those who bought at 20, 60, probably for anywhere from 10 to 100, they're in a good shape, you would say, right? They're
exactly, because you can have, for example, I would do a sell order at 150. Then you probably get at least 100.
I learned that. I want to repeat that because a lot of people aren't as experts as you, and I'm trying to get there. But it's interesting because when you play the market, right, you can, aren't they called stops? You can set stops, so that therefore you can actually set it. So when you buy, like I bought it in at $10. I want to make sure, or $100. I want to make sure it sells automatically when it hits 150. And so certain apps and certain brokers,
there is still a risk to it,
right?
Because if you, for example, you have a sell order at 150, someone has to buy it from you. So if the stock drops in the meantime, while your stock is still for sale, you could still lose a little bit more. That's why I'm saying if you do a stop order at 150, you could only get 100, for example.
Fascinating. Good. See, and that's why it's all complicated. And again, none of this is financial advice. I need to always put that out there. We're not telling you what to do, just having a conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's good to do the research, and it's always good for people like Thomas or others, just sort of give you advice. You can make up your own decisions as you decide, if you decide to get into the market. But for me, what's so just telling is just like how frustratingly disgusting and corrupt it clearly all is. This to me, the fact that Robinhood is doing this only proves there's something else there to gain. Now,
exactly.
Is it illegal? Is it illegal is the question I'm going to get you. But before I get there, go ahead, Thomas. What were you going to say?
I'm just going to say that short selling is the thing that should be illegal. Because what you're basically doing is you're trying to destroy companies to make profit of it. And the way short selling works actually is somewhat stupid in my book, because people think there is like a short selling stock that you can invest in. That's not how short selling works. Short selling works that if you, Andy, buy a stock for $100, then I, as a short seller, come to you and say, well, Andy, give me your stock for 3 months and I pay you $10. And so you say, okay, well, that sounds good because I'm not doing anything with the stock. So here you have it. And the minute you give it to me, I sell it because I'm counting on that the stock in 3 months will only be worth $50. And then after 3 months, I buy the stock back at $50 and I have $40 winnings because I gave you 10. And that's how short selling works. And that should be illegal, because renting out your stock for another form of speculation is something that's really shady and really shifty, because people are, if they sell the stock the moment you rent it to them, they are already starting the down spiral of that stock.
Well, plus that, it's like the media can clearly, and they do it all the time. They're always out there telling, whatever, CNBC, some of these people out there, let's be honest, are in on the game and sort of creating the marketing of which one. Let's start to making GameStop seem like they're even worse than they are. You can completely change the game. Marketing can change anybody. So by out there, these CNBC, these financial whatever. I don't mean to focus just on them, but I've seen a lot of people on TV and out there in the media trying to attempt to justify the chaos and the how awful what Reddit is doing. And I'm having trouble understanding what is Reddit doing that the hedge funds aren't also doing. What's happening right now is the rich is getting richer, and they're upset that the regular people have united and used the system that they've been playing forever to make all the billions of dollars to now play the game. And so we all should be paying attention to this story because it's an important one, because what is it? 90% of all the stock market is controlled by the rich anyway. And so they're defining what companies are worth. A lot of people are out there trying to argue, oh, no, GameStop's not worth the price. Maybe, but shouldn't the people be able to make that decision? Like, isn't that the whole point of a free market and everything else, Thomas?
That's how it is, but you get so much misinformation that you cannot decide what to do. When I started to get into the whole trading stuff like over 10 years ago, I got burned a lot because I was watching like CNN and CNBC and what should you buy and their analysis and everything. And fact is, if you go solely on those, you'll get shafted. You will not. Maybe you do some slight winnings or stuff like that, but you will never make big money from this. And so you have to do your own research and follow some people that have very specific views on things. If I may do a little shout out to the YouTube channel HyperChange here, which from who I learned a lot and what to look for in companies.
HyperChange on YouTube. Yeah, I'm happy to plug it. That's where you get like I want to plug a channel too for which I want to get to. But check out HyperChange. Sure, I'll check them out. It's always good when you can get someone reliable and if he's helped you, seeing what you've done. Thomas seems to have done pretty well. But also, he put a lot of time and energy and education to figure it out. That's the other thing. Yeah. Most people just think, oh, cool, tell me what, and you do it. And that can sometimes work, but it can also fail in your face. But I want to show off, I want to talk about, is this legal? Now, we're not lawyers here. We're not financial experts. Obviously, take this all as what it is. But before I get to the video, I love this comment. They might as well rename themselves the Sheriff of Nottingham after today. Commenter, bravo, because Robinhood, man, you are not looking good today. So here's this is from Hogue Law. that he does a series, I guess, called Virtual Legality. And good on him because he jumped on this immediately. He's a lawyer and talked about what is this legal. You can go to look up the video, check it out if you want the full context. But he grabbed the contracts. Basically, what do you sign when you join it for Robinhood? And there's 2 points here, sort of mentions. There is a warning here talking about my market vitality, where it's like, I understand whether I place market or limit, I will receive the price at which my order. But particularly I understand that Robinhood Financial is not liable for price fluctuations. All of this is there to sort of warn as a protection for Robinhood to sort of tell the consumers, hey, what's happening today could happen. We are not liable. So it's interesting because that's in there and that should be enough. But then the reality is, as you scroll through, restrictions on trading is where things get interested. And this first line really sums up the question, is it illegal for what they did? It says right here in the sign, when you sign up to Robinhood, I understand that Robinhood may, in its discretion, prohibit or restrict the trading of securities or the substitution of securities in any of my accounts. And it goes in more detail, basically saying that they can do what they're doing right now. So is it illegal? I mean, we're going to find out, I guess. We'll see if somebody actually does an investigation this, right? Thomas said there's more, but sadly, reality, like the contract you sign does give them permission to do this. Now, the question maybe isn't, is this legal? The question is, should this be allowed? Like, what? And does this, make people eyes open to Robinhood to realize, yeah, okay, the fact that you turned that on in this instance and forced me to lose money on my deal, and I couldn't buy more, I think is going to be a huge forever nightmare for the company, no matter how they're trying to legally get out of it. They made a choice to screw over their consumers and make a judgment call. And the reality is the fact that both AOC and even Ted Cruz together are agreeing on this to point out that there needs to be there's clearly going to be more investigations to figure out what. I mean, anybody who's out there trying to stop the free trade and do this needs to be investigated. It's a scary place. Thomas, thoughts on all that? Do you think this is the legality of it? Do you see any problems here for Robinhood?
Well, usually in the terms and conditions, I put things to protect my customer, and if I read these terms and conditions when I'm signing up, I would interpret it as okay, if I do something totally stupid, then they could stop me from doing it, because usually they have like also a little bit of a log, how much money you have in the bank, or if you have loans and all that stuff. And so you protecting you from investing all your life savings in a potentially very volatile environment. That's what I think this terms should be for. But stopping you to trade your stuff, I mean, the stock market is by default a volatile environment. Everyone who invests in stock knows that you could potentially lose everything.
Yep.
So yeah, it's hard to say if this is not something that's simply just for to get more fear into people and to try to have all the Robinhood shareholders of GameStop sell their stuff.
Yeah, and again, there's so much more going to be find out. If you want to know more, is this legal? I do check out that video. He gets a lot more to depth about the SEC and the regulations and what you need. It's a very in-depth, longer thing that I'm sort of summing up, but the contract that you sign is sort of the most interesting part of this, to say, well, it is a conversation. So, but lots more data and stuff that he provides over there. I didn't want to seem like I was summing up his thing. There was another 20 minutes of stuff that I just can't get into here, and I don't want to steal his work. But go check that out if you want to learn more.
And especially for like a US app, here in Europe, we have like a lot more restrictions on how you can do trading and other taxes that work the system and everything. So I actually do not use an app. We have some apps here in Europe. I actually have a broker that I call on the phone and say, buy this, do this. But in the land of the free, you should also be free to like spend all your money on something you believe in.
Or lose it if you know that it's a risk. Yeah, that's the reality of it. Thomas, I appreciate it. Go ahead. Yeah, final words.
And what I think is just for people that getting into this, I think there will be people that will get burned by this a lot, because some people were probably late to the party. Some people will hold the stock for too long and it will probably go down at least to something that the company is, if you could say, worth. And the worth is probably, the stock should be probably between $11 and $40 or something. That's what the estimations are. That's the net worth of the company currently. So if it crashes down to that, some people will get burned, and yeah. But you should be allowed to do so if you want to, like, squeeze the shorts.
Should be allowed to get burned, squeeze the shorts, etc. I love that I'm looking at those financial terms coming out of me, and I want to thank Thomas for being here. I was saying before, I love the Austrian accent. It reminds me of Arnold. I'm like, I want to see a whole tax channel. I mean, so stock channel from you, and you're brilliant. So please keep it coming out there. I appreciate you joining me. If Ted Cruz and AOC can agree on something, you know hell is frozen over and something's crazy. So keep your eye on this story. More to come. Robinhood, they are in trouble, I think, regardless of whether it's legal or not. Ethically, morally, will people want to use that app? I think a lot of people are about to delete that app. What do you guys think? Tell me down in the comments below. Have you been trading? Did you ride this train? Are you just envious that you didn't ride the train? Don't just ride the next one because you think they're all going to be like this. Please be careful out there with your money. Unless you got money to spare, always know it's always a risk no matter what you did. And now it's good to know that it's even a risk to those fat cats in Wall Street. Yay! We all need that equality. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell as well, and that like button, smash it. And thanks so much for watching. There's more videos here. Stay tuned for more on Popcorn Planet. It's Thursday. We'll be live tonight and every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.